Greetings. My name is Lola Frey. I am a data analyzer 2.0 from Dark Tech. I will now continue the series titled, A Story, Chapter 6. The next day, in a park that smelled of rain, Willow was sitting on a bench. Willow yawned and stretched her arms. Her phone began buzzing. Willow answered. "Hey Willow," Marvin greeted. "I am back in town. I want to meet up with you now so you can finally inform me of everything." "All right," Willow agreed. "Where are we meeting?" "I'll text you my address," Marvin replied. "Are you around Claire still?" "Yes," Willow answered. "She's around the guy I texted you about last night. I am sitting a distance away from them." "Okay," Marvin said. "See you soon." Willow put the phone down on her lap. She paused. Someone across from her was also sitting on a bench and watching Claire and Blake. It was a young man about Willow's age. He had black hair and a charming gaze. At the moment, the young man was staring intently at Claire and Blake. The only time he looked away was to take a sip from the light green milkshake he had. "How interesting," Willow noted to herself. Wasting no more time, Willow left and went to meet up with Marvin. Willow arrived at an apartment. She climbed some stairs and knocked on a door. "Hey." Marvin welcomed her with excitement. Willow entered and sat on a chair in front of a counter. "Go ahead," Marvin said, "let me know what's up." Willow took out some 11 by 11 sized photos and handed them to Marvin. "My phone couldn't deliver quality pictures every time because of lighting," Willow said. "I had to use my camera for the more telling and important shots." "Go on," Marvin said as he observed the pictures. "The guy in the picture is named Blake," Willow continued. "He also goes to the same gym. He could be anywhere from 18 to 21. They appear to be hanging out. Blake clearly sees it as dates. But Claire seems to consider it hanging out, on the surface at least." Willow crossed her arms. She looked at Marvin. He didn't seem fazed at all by what she was telling him. His eyebrows were slightly raised. Other than that, it was like he was in a good mood. "Marvin," Willow smirked. "Is this even your girl?" "Yes, Willow," Marvin said. "Of course. Claire is my girlfriend." "Is that so?" Willow responded. "She hasn't mentioned this Blake boy to me," Marvin said. "If he is 18, he's 9 years younger than us." "Don't change the subject, boss man," Willow blurted, shaking her head and smiling. "Look, I will call her now and put her on speaker if you want me to," Marvin said. "Yes," Willow replied. "That will suffice for me." "Okay," Marvin said as he pulled out his phone and wallet. "I really appreciate what you've done for me." Marvin handed a roll of cash to Willow. "It's $5,000, he said. "What?" Willow blurted. "I told you I had you covered," Marvin explained. Before Willow could respond further, Marvin dialed Claire. They waited in silence for Claire to pick up. "Hey," Claire answered. "Hey honey bun," Marvin cheered. "What's up?" Claire replied. "I was seeing if you were up for a dinner date tonight," Marvin said. "Oh," Claire said with uncertainty. "That sounds nice. Where are you at?" Marvin continued. "I am out and about," Claire replied. Marvin smirked at Willow with an expression as if he were thinking, "Seriously?" "I was thinking we go to that pasta place tonight," Marvin said. "That's fine," Claire replied. "You sound occupied," Marvin probed. "Are you out with any friends?" "Yes," Claire said. "I suppose I will let you get back to having fun," Marvin replied. "Okay Marvin," Claire responded. "I will talk to you later." Willow got up from her seat and walked to the door. "I ought to give her a piece of my mind," she said. Is it all right if you look after her for a little bit longer today? Marvin asked. Yes, Willow said. I am perfectly fine with that. This is still like my very own soap opera that I get to watch personally. Willow girlishly waved her hand as she exited scene. The clouds covered most of the sky. There was only a small opening that the sun was clearly seen through. Feeling the breeze through her open window, Willow pulled into the parking lot for the park. She saw that Claire's car was still there. Willow parked 2 parking spaces behind it. I wonder where they could be now, she said to herself. I would have bet they'd be gone by now. Rubbing her chin with a growling stomach, Willow opened the door and someone bumped into her, as if purposefully. She closed the door, looking behind her to the handsome gaze of the guy she saw earlier that day. I am sorry, Willow said hesitantly. It's nothing at all, the guy said. As Willow began to go her separate way, the guy called out to her. Hey, he said. Are you looking for that girl with the blonde hair? Freezing for a moment, Willow slowly turned around with a faint, guilty smile. If you are, the guy said, she is in the area of the hunched-over tree. How does he know what I am doing here? Willow thought. Was he? Look, the guy said. I am just a guy going through tough times in life who decided to take a load off by going to the park. I totally don't do this on a regular basis. Then, I saw you. You left before I could go to you and introduce myself. I wasn't sure how to inject myself into your life. I am, like, a complete stranger. And people don't simply just say hello and become friends. But you came back to the park. And I don't want to miss out on another opportunity to get to know you. I want to know if you'd be willing to let me take you out on a date. Well, I see how that could be troubling, Willow said. Stranger, my name is Willow. Odd, the guy responded. I completely forgot to tell you my name. I am sure I lost points for that. My name is Aluo. I suppose you would not mind me checking on my friend, Willow said. Oh, Aluo responded. She is your friend. That should have been obvious. I don't mind. Good, Willow replied. As for our date tonight, I already know where I want to go. Nice, Aluo said. I appreciate you giving me a chance. Where is it that you'd like to eat? Willow smiled and said, Do you like pasta? Sometime later, Willow stood in front of the restaurant. The moon was in the sky, accompanied by many stars. The restaurant was between 2 other stores, one for books and the other for candy. The windows of the restaurant were tinted, but you could still see the neatly organized tables, chairs, and the people that sat at them. Aluo came rushing to the front of the restaurant. He was easy to spot because there weren't many people on the sidewalk at the minute. I hope I didn't keep you, Aluo apologized. I just got here, Willow smiled. We both made it before 9. Good, Aluo sighed. He opened the door for Willow and they both entered. They were escorted to their seats. So what have you been up to since I last saw you? Aluo asked. I am sorry I had to leave before you left the parking lot. It's totally fine, Willow insisted. I understand that things come up. That's good to hear, Aluo said. I had to assist family. I simply went home after 30 minutes in the park, Willow answered. I was relaxing at my place after that. You didn't spend any more time looking after your friend? Aluo asked. No, Willow said. What do you know about the guy she has been hanging around? Aluo asked. I take it he's not the type to trust? Are you not worried for your friend now? You sound more worried about her than I do, Willow smiled. I am quite knowledgeable about her current whereabouts. Following the direction of Willow's eyes, Aluo looked to his far right and saw Claire, sitting at a table with Marvin. Claire was looking at her phone, texting, smiling every so often over a full plate of food. Marvin watched her, dissatisfied, his food half-eaten. "Who is she with?" Willow gasped, eyes widened. "That is her boyfriend," Willow answered. "Her boyfriend?" Willow repeated. "Who was the other guy?" "Her friend," Willow said, using air quotations. Willow turned his attention back towards Claire. He stared for a while. Willow watched a grim frown appear on Willow as he took his attention off Claire. He leaned to Willow. "It is sad not everyone can identify a person like that," he said. "What do you mean?" Willow asked. "It is clear that this guy that Claire calls her friend is more than a friend," Willow said. "Anytime that you see a girl contacting a guy like that, you can be certain that something is brewing. If you know what to look for, it is easy to tell something is wrong, especially when a girl is in a relationship and showing such excitement and/or attention to another guy." Willow let out a deep breath in subtle amazement. "I don't think I have ever thought into it like that." "It is heartbreaking," Willow added. "She's doing that right in front of him. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't know that she's investing time into another guy, other than her boyfriend. When that happens, she begins to emotionally connect with this guy she considers just a friend. From there, her relationship is in even more danger." Willow and his pasta dinner came. Willow began to focus more on Willow. He was doing the same. "I am actually glad to be spending time with you," she thought. "So what do you do?" Willow asked. "Would you believe it, that I am currently without a job?" Willow said. "Really?" Willow replied. "I never would have guessed." "Yeah," Willow said. "Life at its finest. Things just came falling down on me." "I understand, Willow," Willow said. "I've been trying to make my way through work. It's a sort of advertising company for the city." Marvin and Claire got up from their seats and left. Willow and Willow ate and enjoyed their night. A breeze of warm air hit Willow as she exited the restaurant. "I had fun," Willow said. "So much fun that you want to see me again?" Willow added. "Maybe," Willow replied. "It's fine if you want to think it over," Willow said. "May I finally have your number? Better yet, have mine. If you would like to see me some more, feel free to contact me." "That's an all right idea," Willow replied. Willow put his number into Willow's phone and handed it back to her. Willow smiled and she walked away. "Until next time," she winked. Willow smiled in relief as he waved.